At 82, I've learned many lessons about life. Yet there's one choice I deeply regret: moving into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right decision. My family encouraged it, assuring me I'd receive all the care and comfort I needed. I trusted them. But once I arrived, I realized reality was far from what I had imagined. Many of you might be contemplating this option, whether for yourself or a loved one. Perhaps it feels like the safest path, or maybe you've been told it will simplify life. But before you make that move, I want to share 6 things I wish someone had told me. Because the truth is, life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience, it changes everything. And once you're there, leaving isn't as simple as you might think. Stay with me till the end, because some of these truths might surprise you. If you know someone considering a nursing home, this video could be exactly what they need to hear before making such a life-altering decision. Let's begin. Regret. 1. Losing my independence. The biggest shock after moving into the nursing home wasn't the small room, the fixed meal times, or even the unfamiliar faces. It was realizing I'd lost control over my own life. Before moving in, I had my routines. I decided when to wake up, when to eat, how to spend my day. I could take a walk whenever I wished, cook my own meals, or simply sit quietly in my favorite chair with a book. But inside the nursing home, I quickly learned my time was no longer my own. Everything ran on a schedule that wasn't mine. Breakfast happened at a fixed hour, even when I wasn't hungry. Lights went out at a set time, whether I was ready or not. Wanting to take a walk outside, you might need permission and probably have to wait for someone to be available to assist you. Simple choices like what to eat or even what to wear began feeling like privileges rather than basic rights. I remember my first week there, waking up in a bed that didn't feel like mine. I sat up, stretched, and reached for the book I had been reading at home. But when I looked around the room, it hit me. This wasn't my home. My books, my favorite chair, the little comforts I had collected over years, all gone. In their place were sterile walls, a bed I didn't choose, and an emptiness I couldn't shake. I was no longer the captain of my own life. The hardest part? Realizing that once you surrender your independence, reclaiming it is almost impossible. You adapt because you must. You stop arguing about what's for dinner. You stop asking if you can take a walk whenever you want. You learn to fit into their system, but in doing so, you begin losing yourself. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you truly ready to give up the small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, you'll miss them more than you ever imagined. Regret. 2. Feeling forgotten. One of the toughest truths about moving into a nursing home is discovering that life outside keeps moving without you. When I first arrived, my family promised frequent visits. I believed them. At first, my daughter came weekly, my grandchildren dropped by on weekends. For a little while, it felt like I still belonged to my old life. But as months passed, visits became rare. My daughters switched to phone calls instead of visits. My grandchildren grew busier with school and work. Holidays were the hardest. Everyone promised to come, but plans changed at the last moment. Suddenly, I found myself alone in a common room, watching other residents gaze toward the door, hoping someone would remember them. It wasn't that my family stopped loving me. Life just got in the way. When you're not around daily, it's easy for people to assume you're fine, that you've adjusted, that you don't need much attention. But the longer you stay in a nursing home, the easier it is for people to forget how much you still need them. I remember one evening sitting in my room, phone in hand, debating whether to call my son. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to remind him I was here, waiting for a visit that might never come, so I put the phone down. And that's when it hit me. This was my new life, watching days slip by, hoping someone would remember to include me. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, it's easier than you think to become out of mind. If you're still watching and find this helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Now, let's continue. Regret 3. Losing my sense of purpose. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was simply changing where I lived. I didn't realize I was also changing why I lived. At home, I had responsibilities, routines, hobbies, a reason to get up each morning. Even small things like watering plants, making my own coffee, tidying up gave me purpose. But in the nursing home, those daily rituals vanished. Meals were prepared for me. Cleaning was done by someone else. The plants, they weren't mine to care for anymore. At first, I told myself it was nice to finally relax, no chores, no duties, just rest. But after a few weeks, I felt something was missing. The days stretched long and empty. I saw it in others too. People who once had energy now spent their time sitting, staring, waiting for time to pass. There was a man named George, 84, a lifelong carpenter. At home, he was always fixing things, building projects in his garage. But here, there were no tools, no projects, nothing to create. I watched as his skilled hands, once strong and busy, lay idle in his lap. "I feel useless," he told me one day, and I knew exactly what he meant. When you lose something to care for, something to work toward, life loses its meaning. The mind slows down, the body follows, and soon you feel like just another resident in a place where time moves, but nothing truly changes. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? Because once you move in, finding purpose isn't about filling time. It's a battle to hold on to what makes you feel alive. Regret 4. Declining health faster than expected. Before moving into the nursing home, I was doing well for my age. I wasn't running marathons, but I could care for myself, walk and cook. I had routines that kept me moving. Grocery shopping, morning stretches, even just walking around the house to keep my legs strong. But once I moved in, everything changed. At first, it felt like I was taking it easy. Meals were brought to me. I no longer had to stand in the kitchen. If I needed something, I pressed a button and someone came to help. What I didn't realize was that doing less made me weaker. I stopped moving as much. My legs stiffened. I sat more. Soon, standing up became a struggle. The muscles I'd worked so hard to keep vanished faster than I expected. It wasn't just me. I saw it happen to others. People who walked in on their own now relied on wheelchairs. Those once independent needed help with simple tasks. The more help we received, the more we seemed to need it. Remember Alice, an 81-year-old lively woman who used to take daily walks around the facility. She insisted she wouldn't slow down just because of age, but months later she walked less, then used a walker, then a wheelchair. One day she looked at me and said, "I don't know when, but I feel like I aged 10 years in just a few months." That's exactly how it felt. When you stop using your body, you lose it. And in a nursing home, where everything is made to make life easier, it's easy to forget that movement isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. If I had known how quickly I'd lose my strength, I would have fought harder. To keep moving, to stay active, to push myself even when I didn't feel motivated. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still have the drive to keep your body strong when everything is arranged to make life effortless? Because once you slow down, getting back on your feet isn't as simple as you might expect. If you're still watching this video and find these insights helpful, please comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support enables us to keep producing quality content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's continue. Regret 5. The loss of privacy and dignity. One thing I didn't fully grasp before moving into a nursing home was just how much privacy I would lose. At home, I had my own space. I could close my bedroom door, sit quietly if I wanted, and do things on my own terms. But in a nursing home, privacy is a rare luxury. From the moment I arrived, I felt constantly observed. Staff coming and going, scheduled room checks, shared spaces where you're rarely alone. Even simple acts like dressing or using the bathroom often required assistance. I know they were just doing their job, but accepting help for things I had done independently my whole life was tough. I remember struggling the first week with having to ask permission for things I once did without thought. Want to shower? You might have to wait for help. Need the restroom? Pressing the call button sometimes means longer waits than you'd like. Meal choices were limited. If you don't like what's on the menu that day, well, tough luck. Then there's the issue of roommates. Not everyone gets a private room, and sharing a space with someone you didn't choose can be frustrating. I was lucky to have a kind roommate, but I heard stories about those who were less fortunate. Roommates who were loud, unclean, or had cognitive issues that made sleep nearly impossible. No matter how much you try to make your room feel like home, it's never truly yours. Dignity is a precious thing to lose, and I didn't realize how much I'd have to surrender until I was already there. People knocking but not always waiting for an answer before entering, being spoken to like a patient instead of a person, daily routines dictated by schedules you didn't create. It changes you. You start feeling less like yourself and more like just another name on a list. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the privacy and control you've had your whole life? Because once it's gone, it's hard to reclaim. Regret. 6. Realizing it's harder to leave than you think. When I first moved into the nursing home, I told myself it was temporary. I thought I'd try it out, see how it went, and leave if I didn't like it. But I didn't realize how difficult leaving would be once inside. At first, it seemed simple. If I didn't like it, I'd just go back home. But home wasn't the same anymore. My house sat empty, and maintaining it from afar became challenging. My children had already begun making changes, selling things they thought I wouldn't need, even considering renting the place out. When I mentioned the idea of returning, they hesitated. Are you sure you can manage on your own? Wouldn't it be safer to stay? We just want what's best for you. Then there was the issue of physical decline. After months in a place where I didn't have to cook, clean, or walk far, I wasn't as strong as before. The independence I once had started slipping away, making the thought of moving back home more daunting than I imagined. I wasn't confident in living alone anymore, and that fear kept me stuck. I met others who had the same experience. They planned to try the nursing home briefly, but found leaving much harder than expected. The longer you stay, the harder adjusting to life outside becomes. Some people lose that option entirely once their home is sold or their savings drained by care costs. There's no going back. That's the part no one tells you. Moving in feels reversible, but for most, it isn't. The nursing home slowly becomes your entire world, and before long, the life outside feels like a distant memory. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the possibility that leaving might not be as simple as you think? Because once settled, financial, physical, and emotional barriers to leaving can be tougher to overcome than expected. If you're still watching and find these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us keep producing good content to inform and inspire you. Final thoughts. Looking back, I don't regret aging, but I do regret thinking a nursing home was my only option. I walked in expecting comfort, safety, and better quality of life, but found a world that slowly stripped away my independence, privacy, purpose, and even sense of self. Does that mean nursing homes are all bad? Not necessarily. Some truly need the care they offer. But before deciding, think carefully about what you're sacrificing, because once you move in, life won't be the same. If I could do it over, I would have fought harder to stay at home, explored more ways to get help without losing my freedom, and made sure I really needed to be there before making such a permanent decision. If you're facing this choice, take the time to ask yourself, is this truly best for me or just the easiest option right now? The life you have today, your routines, independence, and choices are worth preserving for as long as possible. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so please share. Reading your comments motivates and encourages us. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support allows us to continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.